Deathstroke issue 4, written by Christopher Priest and art by Joe Bennett, which you two guys read, so by all means.
Yeah.
I love this issue. How about you, man?
Yeah, it was solid.
Yeah.
Like, and halfway through, it becomes like a prose.
Yeah,
style.
it does. It's almost like it's two separate stories.
Yeah.
And for a minute, I wasn't sure if it was actually just two separate stories, but then it kind of ties it back in at the end.
Yep. And so I like that. I like the interplay between Slade and Rose and her precog abilities. And he calls her out on that. Well, no, you're misunderstanding how they work.
Yeah, because the whole thing is they're heading to Gotham to find where this money's come from and see who's,
who has the hit out on her.
Yeah. And so they're on this road trip and they're in disguises and they're having banter. And it's even that stuff's just really fun.
Yeah.
And then they get stopped.
Yeah, by these bikers.
Yeah.
And Rose gets a thing that they're going to shoot Deathstroke. She interacts or intervenes, and then it turns out that her trying to intervene is what caused it to begin with.
Yeah.
So Slade gives her a lecture about it. I also liked with Wintergreen, her basically calling to complain to Wintergreen. And he's like, well, when he says that, you're terrible, he's really meaning that he loves you. And then she turns around and uses that line on him.
Yeah.
Like, your form's terrible or whatever.
You don't have to see his face to know it's just warming his heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we get to that they start to get into Gotham City limits. And basically Deathstroke lays a trap for Batman. And he gets Batman into where he wants, which I like that it shows that Deathstroke is a master in tactics and strategy.
I love how much respect he has for Batman in this.
That was the other thing, yeah. Is he goes, he'd almost be a great assassin.
Yeah, it's like I really don't want to have to kill him.
Yeah. So, and they also play up about him considering himself a supervillain. And Rose kind of argues with Wintergreen, well, no, not really. He does stuff for money. He's like, it's just easier to call him a supervillain because he's not always on the right side.
Yeah.
So, and it shows that with Batman because they basically poisoned Damian.
That was the one bit of the issue that felt a bit out of place, Damian in general, because see, he's not been around in the Bat books, has he?
No,
I don't think so.
Not really.
And then
so
he's
him
just
showing up as the
here.
Paperboy.
Yeah. It's strange.
we got a flashback of Rose training with Nightwing.
That was really cool.
Yeah, so it shows that she knows the Titans at least.
Yeah.
At least his version. Because he's like, I'm not Robin anymore. I'm Nightwing. She's like, well, nice mask.
Yeah.
And like,
and
they
did say that that was another bit that made me laugh, where she says, I was trained by Nightwing, and Deathstroke just chuckles. It's like, sure. That'll help.
Trained.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so we get to the prose, and he's describing Batman and how they do things. And it ends with him and Batman like facing off. So Batman gets the drop on him, but it's right where Deathstroke wants him to be.
Yeah, the whole point was for the plan to fail.
Yeah, and so that's why I give Batman usually a lot of crap for having like, I got him right where I want him, and you need all this stuff to happen in order for it to take effect. Here, though, they kind of seeded it, like because I went back and looked through that page again. Everything's there from what you need, and it's just Deathstroke explaining it step by step.
It's putting Deathstroke on Batman's level. It's like, Batman's his master, and he plans all this stuff, but at the same time, Deathstroke knows what he's going to plan because it's what he'd do.
Well, because Batman uses rules, and Deathstroke has no rules.
Yeah.
So he can do what he wants. So yeah, just a strong issue. Like, feels like my favorite sleeper book because I don't feel like a lot of people, even at my comic shop, aren't reading it. Like, they just wrote it off that it's Deathstroke, and I feel like they're missing out because it is Christopher Priest, and he's got a pretty, a lot of heft behind it.
Yeah. No, it's
not
really
just a
enjoyable
mercenary book. So, but yeah, Pete should get back to reading it. Maybe
you should. I feel like, to be fair, it's actually in the 4 issues that it's had. It's evolved quite a lot past that first one that Pete's read. Like, it's no longer just this spy espionage thing. it's a family book, and it really has this banter going for it that people probably enjoy.
Maybe I'll try catch up one day. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's so many.
It is.
They keep adding to the amount of books we've got each week that I don't know if I'm ever going to have the time. But
Yeah, I mean, he really is Dark Batman here, and even Ravagers is Robin, as it is right now. So there's that aspect to it. I wouldn't actually mind seeing Christopher Priest on Batman for a little bit. That'd be a cool.
That would be cool.
hey, maybe in 5 years when Tom King's done, they can give Priest another.
Oh, I don't mean the main Batman book. I just mean on the character. Like if he wanted, like,
Just give him a mini or something.
yeah, a mini or something, I think
Yeah,
it'd be
okay.
cool.